Lowe's knows how to help you get the most out of your store run. That's why members save more with MyLowe's Rewards. Earn points towards MyLowe's money on eligible purchases. Get access to member-only deals and free member gifts. Plus, unlock free standard shipping when you reach Silver Key status. So what are you waiting for? Join for free today. Lowe's. We help. You save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
This episode is brought to you by Abercrombie. Build your fits of the day with Abercrombie's newest denim drop. Here's where to start. Abercrombie's 90s straight jean goes with any shirt from tees to sweater polos. Super versatile. Their loose and baggy jeans are more trend forward, so you can grab those and go out with your friends. Abercrombie's denim fits come in a range of washes. Build your looks around Abercrombie denim. Shop online or in-store.
Now tuned into the greatest.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
Chicago to your speakers.
The best sports podcast there is.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. I appreciate you tuning in to the first interactive sports podcast. You know, a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something you agree with, you disagree with, you like or you dislike, go ahead and shoot us a quick take. 219-413-9405. And of course, we'll play your take back on our next episode. And then shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode. Get $20 off your first ticket purchase when you use the promo code The Run Podcast. Now, this code can only be applied for first-time users on the mobile app, but hey, man, it's the NBA season, so go ahead, create that account, and purchase a ticket to one of these games. You can also use it for concerts and stuff, too. However, man, hey, we're in for a great treat today. Thomas Tyree, host of On the Hot Podcast, is joining me here today. What's going on with you, Thomas? How you feeling, man?
Good, man. Thanks, Manny. Of course, we always do our thing when we collaborate together. Glad to be on the episode today.
Absolutely, bro. I'm glad to have you. I'm excited to jump in some of these basketball topics with you because there's been a lot going on, man. Obviously, you know, the trade deadline and shook a couple teams up and made some teams better, some teams worse. And I'm on the side of thinking your team is worse or your team is better now in the Miami Heat since y'all done got rid of Jimmy Butler. But the first things first, bro, and the first thing I want to ask and kind of hear your thoughts on is, out of all the elite threats in the NBA right now, let's start with the Eastern Conference. So out of all the elite threats in the Eastern Conference, out of all the elite threats in the Eastern Conference, what team do you think is probably the most serious threat to cause damage in the playoffs, whether that's going to win a championship, knocking teams out, or whatever the case is?
Oh, yeah, it's the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're here to shake things up in the East. They're already the number one seed out in the Eastern Conference this year, 42 wins, 10 losses. I think they're the biggest threat to the Celtics getting back to the NBA Finals and making it out of the East this year. I know the Knicks are there, but the Cavs have been playing dynamic basketball all year long. And their starting five now is like a death row lineup. I mean, they got Jonathan Mitchell, Darius Garland. They just got DeAndre Hunter, the missing piece out of this starting five, which is small forward. Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen. They're going to give a lot of teams a run for their money come playoff time, and they already showed why they're a legitimate threat playing this well this early in the first half of the NBA season.
Yeah, this is very true. They've won 8 of their last 10 games up until the All-Star break right now. I don't think they played a night right before the All-Star break. But one of the things, too, with them is, man, that's an elite team over there, number one seed, as you mentioned. And they've been showing everybody that they're an elite team and can beat anybody that they play against. All right, now, 1 sec. Let me hit.
Recording in progress.
Now we can keep going. All right, so yeah, they've been showing everybody that they can beat whoever they step in front of, and I think the Cavs definitely got a shot. The only thing that concerns me about the Cavs right now is the possibility of them just being like a regular season dominant type of team. Obviously, Celtics coming off that championship win in the regular season, they're still second seed, but you do relax just a little bit after you go win that championship. And with the Celtics, they got the talent, no doubt, but I don't know if come playoffs they'll really be able to lock in. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's the thing. The Celtics brought back 13 out of 15 players that they won a championship with last year, and that's hard to do in any sport, to bring back like a good chunk, basically 98% of your roster you had last year. So Yeah, to your point, the Cavaliers haven't had a dynamic run in the playoffs with this core yet. But in order to be the team, you got to beat the team. And I think they got to do that. But I definitely still think the Celtics are the favorite to make it out of the East. But I think the Cavs can give them a run for their money.
Okay. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Now, there's another team, and I'm going to just raise some speculation here. I'm not even gonna throw my biases at you. I know, a lot of people expect me to. A lot of people expected me to say something like, "Oh, Pistons about to be the most dangerous team." I'm not gonna be crazy. I'm not gonna be a delusional fan right now. But one of the teams I think can really, really be a huge threat in the East, mainly because I think they can compete with everybody, is the Indiana Pacers. Now, I personally can't stand the Pacers right now. Can't stand the Pacers, and I'm realizing I can't stand any team who's kind of a threat to the Pistons, but the Pacers specifically, I say they're a big threat to whether it's the Cavs, whether it's the Celtics, because they have the personnel to adjust to any of those teams. Whether they got to play big against the Celtics, whether they got to play big against the Cavs, they can do that. And really having Miles Turner and Siakam down low, being able to stretch the floor, it causes a lot of damage when you're playing against teams like the Celtics and also the Cleveland Cavaliers. So I struggle, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, man, Pacers, they're sitting right now at the 4th seed. They're not getting a lot of popularity and a lot of attention because they're at 4th seed and they play good team ball. But that's a team to me where I feel like they could definitely cause some damage and beat one of these top seeds. Do you think that's possible?
Yeah, I think it's possible. Based on the fact that, last year they did have I won't say a cakewalk, but they did get a trip to the Eastern Conference Finals, getting lucky playing a banged-up Knicks team in the second round. But I agree. I feel like that trio of players is a threat. They got the experience now because whether or not how they made it there, they have played in the Eastern Conference Finals together, so they know what it's like to get there. And I feel like they can go on a run based on how the Eastern Conference landscape is. I think they are a legitimate threat as well.
Yeah, that's the thing with them. So you mentioned cakewalk too, and I know the cakewalk whole thing that the playoffs it's hard because obviously when a team is supposed to win and play you and they lose, then it's you can't do much about that. But speaking of cakewalks, I got to go ahead and just bring the attention here. The Celtics had the easiest cakewalk to the finals you could ever dream of. Everybody and their mama got hurt. So I personally think the Celtics, they did win a championship. They took care of business. Injuries wasn't their fault, but assuming everyone is healthy in the East, do you think they get back to the finals?
Right now, you got to say yes, but to your point, they did have a cakewalk. But I feel like they are the team to be the favorites because they play well on the court offensively. They're hard to score against. You really got to work hard to score against them defensively. When everybody is healthy in the lineup, it's really hard to say, can anybody to throw them, whether that's the Cavs, the Knicks, the Pacers. That's how good they've been playing basketball over the last 2 years in the Eastern Conference.
So I'm going to go on the other side of this. I'm going to say, I'm going to go on the other side. I think they can get dethroned. And the reason I say I think they could get dethroned is because a lot of teams in the East are so closely competitive right now. Even if you look at the standings, a lot of teams are 1 to 3 games apart. And the Celtics last year, they were clearly it was a clear front runner. Nobody's catching them for the number 1 seed. Right now, they're number 2 seed. They're 3 games ahead of the Knicks, 9 games ahead of the Pacers, and then so on, for Bucks and the Pistons and stuff. But it's just I haven't seen the same dominance that I've seen from them. Yeah, they blow teams out still on occasion, but it's just not every night it's there. So I think they've become beatable just because they already got one. And then even last year, they were beatable. It's just everybody was hurt. So I'm I don't know. It was hard to lose when the other team's star is injured. I'll put it that way. But anyway, so let's move to the Western Conference real quick. Let's shift it over. Teams in the Western Conference. Who's your top threats in the Western Conference that can cause some ruckus, maybe get to the finals, knock some teams out the playoffs?
Oh, so the first team that comes to my mind is a team that just won a few years ago, the Denver Nuggets. Yeah. I feel like when that time comes, they could cause a lot of damage out in the West because Nikola Jokic could be on his way to winning his 4th MVP, is averaging a triple-double this year. If healthy, the Nuggets with Jokic, they have brought back Russell Westbrook, his joy playing the game of basketball again. Not the same player he once was, of MVP, years ago. But Westbrook, Jamal Murray, Gordon, they got the core to go out there and give a lot of teams out in the Western Conference a run for their money. And even though the bench isn't as strong, I still feel like they could still give a lot of Western Conference fits.
Yeah, this is true. I feel like, too, with the West, a lot of teams are so inexperienced and so many guys are young. Like, so many people are talking about Oklahoma City Thunder and what SGA is doing. And J-Dub, they're balling. They are a good team, but they're just really, really young. And I think when push comes to shove, if they got to see big Jokic in the playoffs, Jokic is probably going to take care of business. And, hell, I think even if they got to see Anthony Edwards in the playoffs, and Edwards and them going to take care of business, even though they've been playing very bad. So I don't want to, put them in that situation. But even the Memphis Grizzlies right now, number 2 seed, very young team. Jaren Jackson been playing out of this world. Kind of a runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year if Wemby isn't in the conversation. But it's the talent right now. The teams we thought were going to be good in the West are not good. Like Suns, garbage. Lakers, debatable. People feel mixed ways. Warriors, garbage. Dallas, I mean, who knows with them? We don't know what trajectory they on right now. But a lot of teams that we anticipated being good in the West ended up not being good. So I think that kind of hurt a lot of teams' chances. But I will say one of the teams that stood out to me who could potentially maybe outside of the Nuggets cause a lot of damage, I think a surprise would be the Clippers. A surprise. Just a surprise. And I only say the Clippers just because, Clippers, they just got so much talent over there. It's hard to count them out with so much talent. And I know they ain't did nothing since they've been together with Kawhi, Harden, and Paul George. They haven't done anything. But it's just, with Kawhi, when he's healthy, that's a great basketball team. So that's my only thoughts on that. When Kawhi is healthy, Clippers definitely have the potential to knock teams out of the playoffs and shock the world in terms of, beating teams and possibly even going to the finals. I know I sound like a madman, but just saying, when Kawhi is healthy, things can happen. Look at Toronto when he was there. So I'll leave it at that. Any comments on that?
Yeah, I agree with that statement about Kawhi and Leonard. I feel like the days that he went on that magical run with the Raptors is forgotten about. I mean, he dethroned Giannis, he dethroned the 76ers, he dethroned the Warriors, shorthanded or not. He put an end to that dynasty run at first with the Golden State Warriors. And then it's just sad because the caliber player that Kawhi Leonard is, being a great two-way player and one of the greatest small forwards, in my opinion, in NBA history, that he hasn't put it together in terms of being healthy since he's been with the Clippers for the playoffs. So that's the only thing. But if he's healthy and locked in, I can't say that they're not a threat in the Western Conference.
Yeah, he be looking elite, man. But do you got Denver coming out of the Western Conference? I know you picked them as one of the biggest threats. You think they coming out of the West?
I don't know who. I really don't. Now, the East is kind of, you can have a picture of who's going to make it out. The West is really unpredictable. So the second half is going to tell us a lot based off of the trades and everything that happened. I think that's going to tell us a lot about the West. No
Luka Magic? Luka Magic happening in L.A. or what?
They don't got a big man now. Mark Williams trade got I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't think that we're gonna move on to the next segment pretty soon. But I'm not convinced that the Lakers have enough to get to the playoffs right now. I get the Luka and LeBron dynamic duo thing, but bro, I'm just not convinced. LeBron, we know he can shout to the media as much as he wants, is I don't want the ball in my hands. But when push comes to shove, that man is still ball dominant and he wants the ball in his hands to control every aspect of the game. Luka Doncic is the same way. His big behind ain't running off no screens and doing anything without the ball. So I'm going to just leave it at that with the Lakers. And I don't have enough faith that the Lakers will actually make something happen. They definitely need the center. I see they signed one, but I mean, come on, man. You trying to fill Anthony Davis shoes? Come on, man. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced at all.
Hey, Fidelity. What's it cost to invest with the Fidelity app?
Start with as little as $1 with no account fees or trade commissions on U.S. stocks and ETFs.
That's music to my ears.
I can only talk.
Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Zero account fees apply to retail brokerage accounts only. Sell order assessment fee not included. A limited number of ETFs are subject to a transaction-based service fee of $100. See full list at fidelity.com/commissions. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
My My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
All right, so instead of the news, we got the voicemail callers, and we're just going to play one of the voicemails back. Again, just to let you know, you can go ahead and always shoot us a quick take, 219-413-9405. And then, of course, we'll play your take back on our next episode. So I still got Thomas Tyree here with me from On the Hot Podcast, and he going to break down his message with me. So somebody, hey, he wasn't too happy. I just pulled it up. I ain't listened to it yet, but he left a long, hefty voicemail message on here. So, Thomas, I hope you're ready, man.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, let's see, all right, here he is. Let's do it.
What up? This is Gary from Delaware.
Gary.
Let me just tell you something. Jalen Hurts is an elite quarterback. I'm tired of all these people saying that, he doesn't do what other quarterbacks do. Let me just tell you this. If you had Saquon Barkley, who broke a rushing record for the whole season, including the playoffs, obviously, you don't get the opportunities to see Jalen Hurts throw the ball because you don't need to. It's a team sport after all. And what I'm saying is that if you put Jalen Hurts in situations that he needs to throw the ball, he does it very well. He scrambles very well. He rushes the ball very well. And I think that we're overlooking the point that he didn't get the opportunity to show his arm because of the run scheme. And that's fine. I think Jalen Hurts is one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL today. And, you could say Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, and all that other stuff, which is also fine. But I just think that if any of those quarterbacks were in our system with our running back, that they would also have a lacking throwing game. I think Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback of all time in the Eagles franchise.
Whoa, I got to stop. Hold on.
Said it. And also, I truly believe that we're overlooking the fact that, we don't have the tape of him dropping bombs consistently because that's not how the Eagles won. And the Eagles won the Super Bowl with his arm, with his rushing ability.
Nope. Hold on. All right, I got to stop this. Hold on, bro. Hell no. I'm not letting him get away with it. Hell no. We're not letting you get away with that, bro. I can't. Hell no. No. I'm not letting you get away with that. This man just said Jalen Hurts, best quarterback of all time. You done lost your damn mind, bro. Hell no. Who the hell do you think Jalen Hurts is, Gary? Come on with that. I would have been able to accept, okay, he's, he was the greatest in the playoffs. I can accept an argument for that. And, you were saying some valid stuff, but all time, hell nah, bro. I can't let you slide with that. Hell nah. Not doing that. And am I crazy for, I just want to make sure, bro. And this is why I'm glad you're here, Thomas. Am I crazy for thinking like he's tweaking for saying that? Or I'm like, am I tripping?
Yeah, Gary from Delaware needs to be cut off. Yeah, Jalen Hurts is not the greatest of all time. Jalen Hurts, in my opinion, is not top 5 in the NFL. The only thing that he has 4 out of 5, something that he has out of the 4 out of 5 names that he said was a Super Bowl ring, that being Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Allen, and Jaden Daniels. I really don't see what he sees in Jalen Hurts. I mean, he's like a Brock Purdy 2.0 in terms of being in an environment where the team is so good around you that you really don't have to do much. You're just an athletic game manager. And I keep telling people, Jalen Hurts has not had a superstar performance since the Super Bowl, the first time they played the Chiefs a few years ago. Yes, you can look good running the ball. Yes, you can look good piling up rushing stats and rushing touchdowns, doing the tush push. with the best offensive line in the NFL. I'm not buying Jalen Hurts being a top 5 quarterback or even close to the greatest of all time.
Yeah,
not even top 50.
Hell no. Greatest of all time is just insane, bro. That was insanity. We're gonna get to the rest of your voicemail, but that was insanity right there, bro. Greatest of all time. And then I'm like, to your point, Thomas, what you were just saying is like, he mentioned with the scheme and how many weapons Hurts has, he doesn't have to really rely on passing the ball. That tells me right there, if you take Hurts out and you stick Justin Fields in that same system, Justin Fields can make 7 passes and complete them in the game and hand the ball off to Saquon Barkley. Like, what? Like, to me, you almost defeated your own purpose saying his team around him is so great. I get what you mean by the scheme and having Saquon Barkley, so you got to hand him the rock. You definitely want to do that. But also, I don't say Jalen Hurts is not a top 5 quarterback because he's handing the ball off to Saquon Barkley. I understand that's the scheme. When I say he's not a top 5 quarterback, I mostly mean from the abilities that he can do when he's on the field. How well is he throwing the ball accurately when he's throwing the deep ball? How well is he throwing the ball accurately when he's throwing the ball short? How is he throwing it on the back shoulder throws, on the flat routes, on the run? Things like that is what I mean when I say his skill set is why he's not top 5. He's a great quarterback. You would never hear me say Jalen Hurts isn't a good quarterback. And like you said, Thomas, I'm on the same page. Hurts is a great field general. He's a great game manager. I mean, clearly he just won a Super Bowl. I would be stupid to say he's not a good quarterback. But also, I think people have this notion of, because this quarterback won a Super Bowl, he's so good or he's great. He's the best at his position and he can do everything well. When in reality, bro, you forget that the team around him is a key factor of why they're winning the Super Bowl. Winning games does not take any skill. Skill is the abilities that a person can do. Anybody can win games. Don't forget, Blake Bortles got the Jacksonville Jaguars to the Super Bowl. Does that mean he was better than every other quarterback in the conference that year? Hell no. It just means he had a great defense that helped him win games. Winning games is a team effort. Skill set is an individual's ability to do certain things. And when we talk about individuals' abilities to do certain things, Jalen Hurts is not a top 5 quarterback in the things that he's able to do with the football when throwing, when running and throwing the ball, or whatever the case is. He's not top 5. It's just that simple. It's that simple. So damn sure ain't the greatest of all time. Damn sure not the greatest of all time. That's no. Oh man, I can't. All right, we gonna finish your voicemail out because I can't. Yeah, bro, you almost lost it. Woo! Yeah, I love it though, Gary. I love it, bro. You stirring the pot a little bit. Let's go back. All right, let's see.
Dropping bombs consistently because that's not how the Eagles won, and the Eagles won the Super Bowl with his arm, with his rushing ability. And you know, all that is also due in fact to what we did all season with Saquon. I think the Chiefs were so focused on our run game that they were not prepared for him to drop, you know, the 60-yard pass to, was it Smith in the end zone. You know, I just think that, you know, given what we had, Jalen Hurts is the best. Is one of the best, obviously. And it's hard to dispute that, given that not only did he win the Super Bowl, but he was Super Bowl MVP. So that's just my 2 cents. I hope y'all have a great day. Go Birds! We'll be out in the parade on Friday. You know, it is what it is. And I think we'll be back next season in the Super Bowl. I hope so. Anyway, hope y'all are great. Stay safe, stay dry, stay warm. See you next season.
For sure. Definitely stay safe.
Hang this motherfucker up.
All right, look, hey Gary, bro. First off, shout out to you. I can't stand Eagles fans, I tell you. But I ain't mad at you. I get it. I would be the same way if my team won. So I get it. But the one thing I'm gonna say, you mentioned how Jalen Hurts and Eagles were dotting the Chiefs up, and the Chiefs weren't expecting Hurts to really throw the ball like that. Now, I got to give a little pushback on here because, yeah, he did have a big bomb to Devontae Smith, and he made some key throws to A.J. Brown as well. But also, the Eagles didn't win that game because Jalen Hurts was just throwing all over the Chiefs. No, he did have a great percentage, high completion percentage, all of that. Played great, limited his turnovers. But the main reason the Eagles ended up winning was because of the defense. Let's be honest, bro. The Chiefs was held scoreless at halftime. I mean, Pat Mahomes gave the Eagles 2 interceptions, and one of them was already at the goal line. The defense had a pick 6. That's 14 points right there that was practically given to the Eagles for them to carry on that league. So anything extra, I'm not saying to take away from, the passes that Hurts did make and how great the offense is. Anything extra was just more fire to the fuel, and the Chiefs just digging themselves in a deeper hole. You can't expect the Chiefs defense to just completely shut out the Eagles, but when your quarterback is giving the Eagles the best offense in the NFL, extra possessions and pick 6s and all, like, come on, bro. Hell no. Wild. Thomas, what's your thoughts, man? Let's hear it.
Yeah, they were gift drafted, like you said, 14 points right off the bat based off of those terrible Patrick Mahomes interceptions. Man. I mean, I will give it to him. Jalen Hurts, if he was going to do something, if the game was going to be closer, he would have to win the game for him because we talked about it last week, me and you together, that the Chiefs defense would shut down Saquon Barkley. And for their sake, they did because he didn't have any home runs throughout the game. I mean, Jalen Hurts just capitalized when he needed to. But that was all the Eagles' defense. It was all Vic Fangio. That 4-man rush that Patrick Mahomes could not adapt to the whole entire game. Man. Making him play like a rookie, the rookie mistakes, 3 turnovers. At one point in the game, Patrick Mahomes actually had more turnovers than first downs in the first half, which is
crazy. Wild. Just crazy. That's just, yeah, man. So, I tell you, I ain't gonna lie. Part of me a little jealous of the Eagles. I wish my team was in the Super Bowl, but so I get it. I be trying to give Eagles fans just a little credit because, like, everybody be like, "Oh, Eagles fans are so obnoxious," but I mean, reality of it, what NFL fans aren't obnoxious. Honestly, any team that's winning is just about as obnoxious as Eagles fans, but. Anyway, look, man, so no. For real, though, I do appreciate you calling, of course, and sharing that take. And then, Gary, man, that was a good take, bro. You weren't wrong. And, you were actually very much right in a lot of ways, besides when you said that greatest of all time, BS. You almost sent me spiraling. But maybe you was trolling. Maybe you was trying to do that. But whatever the case is, but. No, man, definitely appreciate you calling in, of course. And anyone listening, if you want to go ahead, share your quick take, let's do it. 219-413-9405. Go ahead, play, or go ahead, send us a quick take, question, thoughts, whatever the case is. And then, we'll play it back on the next episode. But look, man, we got to move on. We got some NFL stuff. Since we're on the topic of Eagles, let's get away from the Philadelphia Eagles.
You know what's smart? Enjoying a fresh gourmet meal at home that you didn't have to cook. Meet Factor, your loophole in the laws of mealtime. Chef-crafted meals delivered with a tap, ready in just 2 minutes. You know what's even smarter? Treating yourself without cheating your goals. Factor is dietitian approved, chef prepared, and you plated. Pretty smart, huh? Refresh your routine and eat smart with Factor. Learn more at factormeals.com.
Whether it's a movie night or just midday, Skinny Pop is a salty snack that keeps on giving. Made with just 3 simple ingredients for an irresistibly delicious taste and a large serving size that lasts. Deliciously popped, perfectly salted. Skinny Pop, popular for a reason. Shop Skinny Pop now.
And in the NFL, there's actually a lot of craziness happening right now. With Aaron Rodgers, Miles Garrett, some free agents is coming into play. Now, Aaron Rodgers is not a free agent, but let's break this down first just for a sec. So Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets will officially be parting ways. It's been multiple reports saying that the new GM and everybody, they told Aaron Rodgers he can't go on Pat McAfee anymore, and he said, I don't like that. So now they're going to part ways. So Jets done with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has to find a new home after he promised New York to get his all and to retire there, all of that glorious stuff, whatever. And now he's getting shipped out. So I got to ask you, bro, where is Aaron Rodgers going to end up, and who the hell is the Jets going to get to be their quarterback?
Well, this is the reason why Aaron is out of New York, because he tried to control an NFL franchise in a similar way like LeBron James controls NBA franchises. You can't do that in the National Football League.
Facts.
So when you ran out Robert Saleh, a defensive coordinator out of town that had the Jets playing at the top 10, could crack the window of being a top 5 defensive unit. Once he got fired, the whole defense fell apart, and that was the bright spot about the entire team last year. So Aaron Rodgers, his play has really gone downhill. He's looking like a shell of himself right now. That torn Achilles, he can't move around well in the pocket. Doesn't have that elusiveness that he used to have in those Green Bay Packer days. And he's brought the team down, and they've been more successful with Zach Wilson at the helm than Aaron Rodgers. So it's time to move on, and I don't see any NFL team he can elevate, because if he goes to the Steelers, what's that? Russell Wilson 2.0.
Yep.
Upgrade. That's really not doing anything. And the Giants, no. I don't know.
No.
I think retirement's best for him.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers need to go ahead and get in that home. He need to go ahead, retire, sit his behind down. He looked awful. If I didn't know anything about Aaron Rodgers in the early 2010s and early or late 2000s, I would have thought Aaron Rodgers was just a scrub. I would have thought he was Case Keenum 2.0, Blake Bortles. If I didn't have prior knowledge of who Aaron Rodgers was based on his play last season, I would assume he was a bum. I would question why he's making so much money, why he has so much hype, why his media is so obsessed with this dude. He played terrible. And now that he has to go somewhere, it's no place that would make it home for him. It's no place that would benefit from getting Aaron Rodgers. You talk about the Steelers possibly getting Aaron Rodgers. That's a terrible look. That's a step down from Russell Wilson. And that's just even more insane that they would try and get Aaron Rodgers when they got Justin Fields over there, who's I think is pretty decent. And then you mentioned New York Jets. Like, come on, man. If they take Aaron Rodgers, you think they gonna benefit? Hell no. So he's in a situation where he's just got to sit his behind down. He needs to retire, call it a day. We know, bro, hey, at this point, it's as evident as possible. You're not gonna ever be as great as Tom Brady. You're not gonna ever win as many championships as Tom Brady. None of that is happening, bro. It's time for him to wrap it up. Sit his behind down, man. And that leads me to my next thing of who should be the Jets quarterback. Now, you got new head coach, Aaron Glenn over there, new GM and all of that stuff. They kind of fixed some things. They got rid of the cancer in Aaron Rodgers. He's on his way out. He's got his bags packed. But who is the quarterback you can bring in to really help turn this franchise around with the Jets?
Ooh, that's a tough question, because the NFL free agent market in quarterbacks is not hot this offseason. Maybe Justin Fields, you could give him a try. If you really want to throw a bag at somebody and be desperate, give Sam Darnold a call and bring him back to New York Jets. I don't think it's worth drafting a quarterback in this draft in the first round. Maybe something in the second round with a Jalen Milroe or Jackson Dart that might float around in the second round. But I don't know where the Jets go at this quarterback position this offseason.
So, I've been thinking about this because I was kind of on the same page as you. It's not really, the answer is not very evident and clear of who the Jets should target. But one of the people I've been thinking about, and you also brought up a guy that makes me think again, but I think Justin Fields would be a great fit. Justin Fields gets such a bad rep from that time in Chicago, but also the time in Chicago was just a tragedy all around, and anybody still putting all that blame on Justin Fields is just insane. Because with the Steelers, he showed a lot of promise in the games that he did start and that he did fill in for Russell Wilson. He showed he could still make throws. He showed he's still intelligent, can run with the ball, obviously, and protect the ball, which is probably the most important thing. So if the Jets could get a quarterback like that who is mobile, can possibly be a dual threat there with him and Breece Hall, and also you got another dynamic duo at running back too. So I think if you get a mobile quarterback back there and a guy who can make these simple, easy throws that Aaron Rodgers was missing at one point, the Jets might be okay. But I agree with you on do not draft a quarterback. This is not that type of class for that. You got to just bring in a guy who's ready to learn, who's ready to work. I think you should definitely try and possibly trade for somebody, but someone who's, it's tough, man. I'm on the train of Justin Fields, but also too, Jets is thinking another way too, because as of today, a recent report came out that they were possibly trying to get Trevor Lawrence. So Trevor Lawrence, if he's there, this is a report that came out today. If Trevor Lawrence ends up going to the Jets, obviously they're going to have to get rid of a lot, but that's also a big contract the Jets would take up if they did somehow get Trevor Lawrence. So I'm not really a fan of that. Trevor Lawrence, his play has just been all over the place, very inconsistent. So it would either be like a make or break with the Jets. Maybe it's Sam Darnold 2.0. Maybe he turned into the New York Jets' greatest quarterback ever. So you really just don't know. But what's your thoughts about the Trevor Lawrence possibly going to the New York Jets rumors?
Yeah, they should stay away from that. One, because of the contract. Two, he has not been that generational player that they claimed him to be coming out of Clemson. I haven't seen that yet. Three, the offensive line is still a problem. So even though Trevor Lawrence is younger and he's decent at best, the quality play that you would get at quarterback with a banged-up offense, well, not a banged-up offensive line, but a bad offensive line.
Yeah.
I don't see what the upgrade really would be from an older Aaron Rodgers to a decent Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, that's a tough combination, man. Long story short, I think we can agree that the New York Jets got some work to do. They got a lot of work to do. Last thing, too, I want to go ahead and bring up. Miles Garrett, big name right now, requested a trade from the Cleveland Browns. Browns have been stinking it up, haven't done anything, pretty much just a place to go if you want to waste your talent. And if you are going to be a waste of time, and you know, it's a place you just go enjoy the community, enjoy the food in Cleveland, but you're not going to win many football games. So Miles Garrett pretty much said he's done with that. He's tired of that. He wants to go play for a winning team and have a shot at winning a Super Bowl. And because of those statements, I have a couple of teams where I think he might go, but I got to hear your thoughts on this. Where do you think he may go in terms of requesting the trade and signing with the team?
Yeah, he deserves it because this is a freaking nature. Top 5 pass rusher
Facts.
in the National Football League, former Defensive Player of the Year. I got 3 teams that come to mind. One is the Commanders because they got a lot of cap space to play with. They could really benefit getting a defensive X factor on a defensive pass rusher, Miles Garrett, playing Dan Quinn's defense. They fit the culture well. 2 would be the Bills. The Bills already have a really solid defensive rotation on the defensive line, but Miles Garrett playing with the Buffalo Bills and helping Josh Allen possibly one day get to the Super Bowl would really be beneficial. The last one's crazy. The Lions.
I was about to say.
Yeah, not the Vikings. The Lions would be nasty. Him and Aiden Hutchinson on opposite ends of the defensive line. Man, yeah, those 3 teams he would definitely go off with.
If he really wants to win, he's going to find a way, and he's going to force his way over to the Lions because that defense is already just ruthless, and people really haven't got a chance to see them at full strength because they were so beat down last year. But they got better than 2 years ago when they first made the playoffs and won the playoff game and stuff like that. They got even better this year. It's just they were so hurt. So, man, if Miles Garrett somehow get on the Lions, oh, man, that's going to be a nasty pass rush you got to face. But also you could say the same thing about the Bills and the Commanders. Now, I do have a question with the Commanders because do the Commanders, if Miles Garrett goes to the Commanders, do that really give him a good shot to go to the Super Bowl and actually win?
I think it does. They got a long offseason because they got pretty far with the team that wasn't even supposed to go 12-5 all the way to the NFC Championship.
Yep.
I think they'll reload pretty well this offseason. They'll get another wide receiver playing alongside Terry McLaurin. I think they'll add the holes that are on that team, and I think if Miles Garrett can get there, he definitely would be in that, would help them because I feel like now with Jaden Daniels on a rookie contract, they're in a 2 to 4 year, their window is 2 to 4 years to win an NFL Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, he played great rookie year, but I always say rookie year, the league don't have that much film on you. They still learning your tendencies. It will make you uncomfortable, will make you comfortable. And, I mean, a lot of rookie quarterbacks take advantage of that. But the last thing that could happen is C.J. Stroud, like a C.J. Stroud season, sophomore slump type of year. Now, obviously, it's undetectable. You can't tell if that's ever going to happen or not. But it's like that's also a risk if he goes there. And if I'm Miles Garrett, I want to eliminate all the risk possible that's going to stop me from going to the Super Bowl. So my 2 options would definitely be the Detroit Lions and the Buffalo Bills. I wouldn't even try and think about going anywhere else. But, man, those 2 teams would definitely be a huge help. Other than that, man, I don't think any other team would really be like a competitive team. Maybe, just maybe the Bengals, but the Bengals got a lot of work to do on their defense in general. So if he were to go there, like, it would be good. It would be a stepping stone in the change for the Cincinnati Bengals and helping them on their defense. But ultimately, like, they still got a lot of work to do in terms of winning now and having a good shot. So I don't know. I'm going to leave it at that. But other than that, man, anything you want to add on to the whole trade and all of that stuff going on in the NFL, whether it's Miles Garrett, Aaron Rodgers, and their teams that they may go to or that they're on now?
Other than that, no. But I will say keep an eye out for T. Higgins this offseason, whether he re-signs with the Bengals or not. He's going to make NFL free agency more exciting because a caliber wide receiver that could easily step up and be a number one wide receiver in any NFL offense, that could really hurt the chances of the Cincinnati Bengals contending and competing in a loaded AFC conference if he's not playing alongside Jamar Chase next season.
Yeah, that would hurt, man. That would put so much focus on Jamar Chase. There's already a lot of focus on him with him being the number one option and stuff, but if they lose T. Higgins, that's going to hurt, man. And the offensive line is already a tragedy at that. Yeah. So, man, that would hurt. I think he resigns, though. I think T. Higgins resigns. But you just don't know in the NFL. You just never know. But we'll see, man. We'll find out. Anyway, look, man, Thomas, I appreciate you joining. Of course, let the people know where they can find the pod. Let the people know where they can find you on social, on YouTube, and all of that stuff as well.
Yeah, you can find us on social media such as Instagram, TikTok. You can find us on YouTube as well. On the Hop for Apple Podcasts as well. So we're all over the place, uploading, being active, and being a part of the sports community. So check us out on the Hop 08.
All right, you heard it first. Go ahead and check his content out, man. Like I said, he got a bunch of dope content. And if you heard something you agree with, you want to add on, you got some speculation on where Aaron Rodgers should go, if he should retire, or if Miles Garrett should go here or there, go ahead, leave us a quick take, 219-413-9405. And, of course, we'll play your take back on our next episode. Other than that, man, I'm going to leave y'all with the positive note. And the positive note is just going to be to believe in yourself. That's it. Just believe in yourself. Whether it's getting up in the morning and you're like, damn, I don't feel like going to work, believe in yourself, bro. You got it. You're going to make it through the rest of the day. Or whether it's the long-term goals of, I got to accomplish this, accomplish that, just believe in yourself, and I promise you're going to get there. Other than that, man, look, that's all I got for y'all. I appreciate you for tuning in. Go ahead, follow us on Instagram at The Run Podcast. You can follow my personal as well at I am Manny Wilson, but check out the content on YouTube as well at The Run Podcast. And then, yeah, man, send us to a cousin, brother, aunt, uncle, niece, nephew, whoever you rock with. I promise you they're not going to mind, but we'll be back later on next week. And so on and so on and so on.